Hey, what's going on, people, and welcome to another episode of Riley's Talk. More importantly, Riley's Politics. How y'all doing? So, I guess the last few days or so, we have gotten back into a sense of normalcy in the U.S. Donald Trump is gone. He's gone. He is out the White House after all of the Capitol riots, after all of the voter fraud, claims that really wasn't real, what have you. So we have gotten back to a sense of normalcy. So congratulations to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the president and the vice president of the United States. Congratulations to you. I mean, you did what you had to do. I'm not going to say you deserved it, but you know, the people spoke. The people came out on November 6th and a couple of days prior to that. And, you know, they made their vote, and they said not only through the popular vote, if you understand how American politics with the president works, the popular vote said that we want you, and the electoral vote said that we want you. Majority wins this time on both of them, although we know between 2016 and 2000 that that's not always the case in American politics, but this time it was 100% the case. At last count, I think Biden and Harris won by about 7 million votes. I think in 2016, they won by about 4 or 5 million votes. Maybe not that much, but in 2016, Trump won the Electoral College. And that's what truly puts you in the presidency or the vice presidency. So congratulations to the both of you. But so the last couple of days, even before the last couple of days during the primaries when Kamala Harris was running for president, there were some questions. And that question was, is she black? Now, it's hard for me, and I'm gonna tell you what I call her in a few moments here. At first, I was going to go all the way to the end of the video and make you wait for it, but I'm going to give it to you in a few moments. But there was a couple of, in my opinion, legitimate questions about Kamala Harris, is she black question. So, black people, we are not a monolith. We are not one. There are black people all over the world. There are black people that claim different nationalities and things of that nature. So Drake, for instance, you know, everybody know who Drake is. Drake is black. I think he's mixed, but generally speaking, he has claimed to be black. We as black people have accepted him, but he's Canadian. And so then you have, go across the pond real quickly over to Europe. In the UK, the UK has so many black people that we can't even begin to name them. But the one that I can think of, I like sports. So Anthony Joshua, the boxer, big dude, 6'2", what have you. So he's born and raised in Great Britain. Is he black? Yes, he is 100% black. He may not be American black. He may not be. So let's go to France real quickly. Paris especially. A couple of their soccer players. What was it? 2018 that I was watching the World Cup. And I just noticed that all the players, I ain't say all of them, but if there's 13, 14 guys on a soccer team, so guess what? Out of that 13, 14, I saw at least 8 or 9, maybe more, 10, 11 of France's players nappy-headed as hell. Like, bro, did you just brush your hair today? Like, you know, you just walked out the house like that? But I don't think, I cannot say his name right, but baby, he's a French soccer player, but he's born and raised in France. I think his parents are from a part of Africa, but generally speaking, he's from France. But at the end of the day, he is a black man. He's a black man, but we Americans, myself included, you included, especially if you're watching this video from America, we are very egocentristic. We think the world stops and ends and begins with us. It just ends right there. Europe doesn't exist. Israel doesn't exist. Africa doesn't exist. It stops and ends with us. So we as black people, we are not a monolith. Remember at the end of Black Panther when T'Challa, not the end quite so, but Killmonger, he took over the king and stuff like that, and then he was about to release those weapons to the entire diaspora of people that look like you, people that look like, you know, whoever you know, but he was going to release those, the vibranium. I haven't seen Black Panther in a while, but the vibranium and whatever weapons they had, he was going to release those to the entire diaspora. Nowhere did he say just America. Nowhere did he say just Africa. Nowhere did he say just Europe. Nowhere did he say just this particular country, that particular country. He never said that. All I remember from that movie, he was just giving those weapons to the black people that needed him. So that goes back again to why I say we as black people are not a monolith. So before we get a little bit deeper, do me a favor. As always, hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And also, I want to get a shout out to one of my sponsors, Purpose Clothing, real quickly. If you live in the Chicago area, this clothing line is officially in the, I think, JB's. If you're from out west especially, you'll definitely see it, but he's also online. So hit him up at Purpose Clothing, I'm pretty sure.com. So let's get back into it. So is Kamala Harris black? Before this video, it was, I do some research. Before I do any video, I do some research and stuff like that. That's why you see my computer here. I'm going to take a sneak peek here from time to time. So I do some research on people, places, and things. And so after doing my research, now initially, I couldn't accept it per se. And I'm going to tell you why I could not accept Kamala Harris at the time being called black. Because I did not know her story. And her story begins way before she's a black college student at Howard. If you know anything about HBCUs, one of the hardest schools in the entire country to get into. Forget Stanford, forget Harvard, forget Penn, Yale, Columbia, the Ivy League. Howard is extremely hard to get into. It is considered the black Ivy League. So she went there and graduated. But I dug a little bit deeper. So now let's get into her Indian roots. Her mom, what is her mom name? What is her mom name here real quickly? She was born in a small village, Shamila. I cannot say her name properly. Shamila Goplin Harris. That is her mom's name. Now, I did not look up where her mom initially came from, but I do know she came from India. But the grandfather, he himself came from a small, poor village in the early 1900s. You gotta realize Kamala is not a young woman per se. She's born in the early 60s. She's about Obama's age. She's the last of the baby boomers. So that generation from 1945, 46 to about 1963, 1965. So she's not she is not a young woman. She's approaching 60 years old. So her parents and grandparents are going to be a little bit older. So her grandfather came from a very small village in India where they still make rice patties to this day. They had a huge celebration about Kamala becoming the first female and black or South Asian president of the United States. This is a very powerful position, about the top 5 in the entire world. So she made it there. So her dad, Donald Harris. Her dad is born in Jamaica. Now, I could not find anything about Donald Harris's parents to see his whereabouts, but what I do know is he is a man of color born in Jamaica. Now, before I did this video, I contacted at least 3 Jamaican gentlemen I know personally or through I know them through Facebook, and I was asking them questions. And I kind of knew this. I've been to Jamaica 3 times on a vacation and stuff like that. I've been there a couple of times. So I kind of noticed this when I was there. So over in Jamaica, everybody doesn't look like Usain Bolt. Everybody is not all dark skinned. Remember a couple of years ago, 10, 15 years ago, Sean Paul came out with this new branch of reggae, and everybody was looking at this dude like, dude, you light as hell. You light skinned, you damn near look Chinese. Well, let me tell you why. Because he is Chinese, or he has Chinese heritage. So I think his dad was born over in Jamaica, but Jamaica has a lot of Chinese immigrants. But the one immigrant, I think it's the 3rd on the list, are Indians. And the people from the sub-Indian continent. So they have a lot of Indian personnel over there. Where you think that curry meat and that smell comes from? That's India. Now, to my knowledge, what was told to me, There's a couple of racial issues over there in Jamaica between the Indians and between the black people, but guess what? That's a hometown thing. You know, we can have our beef, but you have nothing to do with this. That's an internal struggle that they have amongst themselves. So back to Kamala. You know, her mom is from India. Her grandfather on her mom's side was from a very small village. So to the research that I did, that it was definitely, she has Indian heritage. On top of that, her dad, Donald Harris again, he was Jamaican. Now, he was a man of color. When I look at the picture, again, I can't find any things on his parents per se, but when I look at the pictures of him when he was a young man, yeah, he's black. He's black. You can go down the route and call him a person of color. And what I've come to find out, that a lot of, especially darker Indians over in Jamaica, they self-identify as black. So no telling how far back it goes in Jamaica of how the Indian continent has definitely helped supplement the black population there. Again, they have their own thing going. So, but her dad, he was born in the 30s or something like that. And so he ended up, in his early 20s, he got a degree over in Jamaica, and then he immigrated to the United States to get his PhD. I think it was at Stanford, but what I do know is that Stanford, he pretty much was a professor. He's about 83, 84 years old. He's still alive. He's about 83, 84 years old. And guess what? He still teaches from time to time, although he's borderline retired. So he is definitely a black man. So back to her mom again. Again, she's Indian, but she's more closer to an Indian woman of color. Now, I'm not going to say black here, but she's closer to a woman of Indian of color. Now, I've met some Indians. When I say Indians, again, we silly Americans, we're not talking about Native Americans. We're talking about people from the Indian subcontinent. 1+ billion people over there. They either the second or the third largest, the second or the first largest population in the entire world behind the Chinese. They kind of hop, skip, and jump each other from time to time over the 1 billion, 1.2 billion, what have you. So her mom is definitely Indian. But back to Miss Harris herself. So we know her mom, we know her dad. Can you call them black? I say the dad, yes. The mom, more West Indies. I'm not going to get into what the concept of West Indies is. All I'll tell you is at the end of the day, it's a bunch of Caribbean countries, about 18 of them between countries and territories. I'm not sure of the stats real quickly, but all I know is they're all Anglophone speaking countries, which is a fancy word of saying they all speak English. Even in Jamaica, that patois that they speak, that is officially considered English. So the mom, she is from that area. The dad is black, but Kamala herself is born in the United States, born in Oakland. Now, she did not, in my opinion, have the struggle of a lot of black Americans, a lot of African Americans, but that's irrelevant. Don't blame her. Don't blame her. Blame her daddy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Her dad and her mom. Her mom ended up was an agriculturist or something like that over in India. And at a chance meeting, she applied for a master's program to go to Stanford. She got accepted. UC Berkeley. She got accepted. The dad, again, he was born in Jamaica. He did something. I think he had to go defend his PhD, and it was at Stanford. And that's where them two met at. So the mom met the dad at Stanford while he was speaking. They meet. They fall in love. They have a Kamala Harris. So that's where Kamala officially comes from. So, but again, they blame her daddy and blame her mom for her not having a quote-unquote black struggle. It's not their fault. There's plenty of black people out here that do not have that struggle, and they don't even want to identify with it. And that's cool. I am completely cool with that because I said earlier, black is not a monolith. It's not a monolith. We are all over the place. We do what we do. We do what we do it at. And so I'm gonna finish up. Before I got into this video, as I said, initially I had problems because I didn't do the research on Kamala for background or what she come from, what have you. With that being said, ladies all over the world of the African diaspora, enjoy your, the chucks and pearls. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You deserve it. This woman deserves it. I'm not getting into her politics about the DA If anybody leaving me comments on my page, I'm not trying to hear any of that. She was doing her job. She was a prosecutor. That's what she did. And I wish we, speaking of the monolith, I wish we as black people sometime stop acting like we don't know what's going on here. We don't realize or act like we don't know that Ray Ray over on the corner selling dope. That Junebug doing what he doing. And all of a sudden, they sit in front of Kamala, and all of a sudden she's asking him these legitimate questions, these legal questions, and they try to use that, hey, you black or you know, whatever. No. Stop that. But that's another story, another show for itself. But ladies, two types, you know, all ladies. There's a woman that has become the second highest office in the land. Enjoy it. 100% enjoy it. You deserve it. And guess what? Revel in her success. Just like y'all did a couple of years ago, black, white, or Hispanic. When I don't know her name off the time. I'm sorry. I don't pay attention to the royal family like that. But when they had the princess wedding on all the TV stations, at first the guys was going in on it. You know, like, you know what? This is what a lot of these ladies lived for. If they can't get it, let her get it, and we gonna celebrate. So celebrate Kamala Harris. This is a black woman. She is, and she should be respected and treated as a black woman. And I say that good or bad, that's another story in of itself. But this is a black woman, and congratulations to you, Joe Biden. We got a sense of normalcy back in America again. Got a long way to go. I mean, it's not gonna happen overnight. So anywho, I got some crab legs to cook. They've been sitting in my freezer for about a month and a half or something like that. Got these crab legs to put on the steamer real quickly. So again, shout out to one of my sponsors, Purpose Clothing. If you live in the Chicago area, do me a favor. Go to JB's. I think they're mostly out west, but you can find them out south. Go to JB's. You will find my man's clothing up in there. You all have a good day. And as always, like, subscribe, and share. Good day.